Hello everybody, right, another Smallville episode review for you, and this is from season 3 and it is titled Slumber. Now, when I received the email from one of my subscribers to do this review, I had actually completely forgotten what this episode was about, and but it wasn't until I actually watched it that I realised, and I'm actually quite pleased that I did get to see this episode again. As I say, this is the fourth episode in season 3. It starts off in an interesting manner. We've got Clark and Lana at Crater Lake, and they both go skinny dipping. From then on, we see this girl running through the woods. Clark goes after her, and then she suddenly gets suckered into the ground. Oh dear, where did she go? We don't know. Other bits of things happen in like the first sort of 10-20 minutes. Clark visits Lex. Lex finds out that Clark is not human because he uses this samurai sword on him. Basically goes off it because apparently Clark can't trust Lex. He wasn't honest with him from the beginning and all that sort of stuff. Clark gets a new truck from his dad as well. But then this girl who he saw at the beginning of the episode, she appears again at school. We find out that her name is Sarah, and there's this figure in a red sort of big cape that seems to be going after Sarah. Clark thinks he's losing the plot, whereas in actual fact, in some cases you would think that he was losing the plot. But then we notice something that we kind of didn't expect. He was actually dreaming. It wasn't the fact that he was dreaming for almost 2 days. That, I sort of vaguely remember when I first watched this episode, and I was like, okay, so Clark and Lana have just skinny dipped. Lex now knows his secret. Chloe has abandoned the wall of weird, and Clark's got himself a new truck from his dad, and it's like, okay. But when he woke up, I was like, oh, thank God it was all a dream. That's alright then, that's good. But I think what I love the most about this episode, because it's called Slumber, and the girl Sarah, she's just moved into Lana's old house next door to the Kent farm, and this is where it suddenly unfolds as to who she is and what she's doing. Because she's in a permanent coma state from her uncle after a car accident she was involved in, she's able to visit people in their dreams, as it were. But in this case, she's visiting Clark. Clark's never met her before. He has no idea what she's doing there. Then when it clocks on that he knows who she is and where she's living, he starts to investigate, as he always does. But what I love the most about this episode is that they were constantly playing music from REM, which was amazing, because it's like, obviously everybody knows that REM stands for Rapid Eye Movement. So an episode about sleep, slumber, dreaming, all that sort of stuff, it was perfect for them to have just music from REM, played pretty much throughout the episode. So as you watch the episode, listen out for if you're not aware of it, but just listen out for all the REM songs that are played, because that was I remember someone pointed that out to me a few years back, and when I watched the episode again, I was like, it's very interesting, and it plays out really well. So anyway, as I say, the uncle is keeping her in a permanent sort of coma state because he's controlling the money that Sarah's inherited from the death of her parents. So yeah, it all goes on from there. Lex is, obviously, as we remember from the beginning of the season, being marooned on the island. He's suddenly trying to figure out what's happened to him, so he starts going through all these therapy lessons with Dr. Claire Foster, which obviously starts after this episode. But in all honesty, I look back at episodes like this, and it really is good to see people like Lex, Lionel, Martha, Jonathan, Lana, all back in, and Pete Ross as well. I mean, Pete Ross is in there as well. It's good to see the old characters back again. And it kind of tells you how far gone Smallville has become, you know, how much it's progressed over the years. You know, we're in its 9th season, we're going to get a 10th season, you know, and, you know, I look back and it really does excite me. You know, I was watching this and I was thinking, oh my god, it's so exciting seeing all these old characters again, you know, Lana obviously, and you know, Chloe, Lionel, you know, doing his usual father-son thingy with Lex, Jonathan Kent, and obviously Martha and Pete as well, as I've said. Yeah, it's great seeing them all again, and no, this episode was really good and I was happy to have reviewed it, so thanks to whoever suggested it. We've got, what, 2 more weeks left, I believe, so if someone wants to suggest me 2 more episodes to review for the next couple of weeks, that would be great. So remember, Smallville returns April 2nd, and whatever you do, don't fall asleep. See you later.